Hi there, my name is Reese, and in my last video I went over the annoying to face but fun to use goblins from the trading card game Archetype, which is currently an old lost game that as of now I still haven't found. However, once again, people from my Discord have found another interesting copyright. This one's a British copyright, which was registered in 1992 by one Gordon Carter. Now, while I don't think this one is related to the game, just because of when it was made and how it didn't get renewed, what is interesting is how the logo available that's on the copyright website is a hand-drawn version of Times New Roman, which is the text I used when I recreated the logo for Archetype. If this is just a coincidence, it's a pretty damn wild one. Anyway, as I'm sure you've guessed from the title of the video, the next archetype that I plan on talking about from the game's first set, Genesis, is the first main blue archetype that I can remember, the Merfolk Archetype. One thing I should say is that I didn't actually use them as a kid, since it required too much card management and actually knowing what you're doing for my smooth child brain to use properly. That being said, I'm going to start us off with the easy to understand, generic no effect Merfolk. Merfolk costs 1 blue material, has a 1/2 stat line, and all the Merfolk elements have the Merfolk typing. Like the no effect goblin from the last video, there's not a right lot to say, so I'll just move on. Merfolk Pearl Trader costs 1 blue material, has a 0/1 stat line, and has the following effect. Once per turn, you can send 1 material in your hand to your material deck, to search for a material in your material deck to add to your hand. Then shuffle your material deck. While its effect is good for material management to help you get the most out of your turn, the best thing about Pearl Trader is probably its low material cost. You want as many merfolk on the battlefield at once, for reasons that I'll go into later, and having low cost elements like this makes that easier to do. Merfolk Scale Shield costs 2 blue material, has a 0/3 stat line, and has the following effect. This card doesn't take battle damage from elements with a strength stat lower than 3. Scale Shield is great at drawing away some of your opponent's heavier hits from your weaker elements. It also helps shut down strategies that involve spamming a lot of weak elements or tokens, since the strength stat of those cards is usually too low to get over this card's effect. Merfolk Saliva Sprayer costs 2 blue material, has a 2/1 stat line, and has the following effect. Once per turn, if an opponent's element targets this card for battle, you can spend 1 blue material to resolve the battle without calculating battle damage or resolving other effects. This is a pretty simple one, with it being able to use up 2 of your opponent's attacks instead of just 1. It's pretty good. Merfolk Wavemaker costs 2 blue material, has a 1/2 stat line, and has the following effect. Once per turn, you can pay 1 blue material to send 1 rune card in play to its controller's hand. I remember a lot of salt surrounding this card. Is your opponent summoning too many slimes because of their permanent runes? Use Wavemaker. Does their Berserker have 1 too many brews attached to it? Use Wavemaker. It's very good, and it really helps delay your opponent's plays to ensure that more of your merfolk stick around for longer. Merfolk Hook Hands costs 3 blue material, has a 3/2 stat line, and has the following effect. This card doesn't take battle damage from elements with a stamina stat lower than 3. This card is the counterpart to Scale Shield, except it can actually deal some damage too. Depending on what elements your opponent has, it can either be a big problem for them, or no problem at all, so its high material cost might not make the card worth using in every situation. Basically, this card's only good in the right hands. I'll move on. Merfolk Sea Scroll Seer costs 3 blue material, has a 2/3 stat line, and has the following effect. While this card is on the battlefield, this card cannot be targeted by rune effects. Seer is okay. Its high material cost does hold it back a bit since its stats aren't the best for its cost. You will still want to use it though, as its effect is really good, and it can be used by the next card I'm going to talk about. Jiaolong, the Flood Dragon. Jiaolong the Flood Dragon is an alchemy element that requires 5 merfolk elements with different names to summon, has a 5 material resummoning cost, has an 8/4 stat line, has the dragon typing, and has the following effect. If this card attacks an opponent's element, draw 2 materials after calculating battle damage. Once per turn, you can send 1 merfolk element in your void to your reserves. At the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can send 1 merfolk element in your reserves to your void. This card gains that element's effect until the end of the turn. Now this is an alchemy element. Its massive stat line and multiple effects speak for themselves. By sending the elements used to summon Jiaolong back to your reserves, you can choose to either refill your battlefield with them, or use them to help protect Jiaolong with the merfolk's various rune and battle damage prevention effects that Jiaolong can gain. You even get some materials to summon the merfolk that you sent to your reserves from the void after attacking. If you're a merfolk player, you want to get this card out as soon as possible. Now, moving on to the rune cards. Siren Song is a rune with a 2 blue material cost, and it has the following effect. Merfolk elements you control gain +2 stamina until the end of your turn. If you need more stamina for your Merfolk during your battle phase, look no further. Merfolk Devocean is a rune with a 3 blue material cost, and it has the following effect. You can send 3 Merfolk elements in your reserves to your void to summon a Merfolk alchemy element from your reserves to the battlefield while ignoring its material cost. Is the 5 material cost to resummon Jiaolong from your reserves too high? Why not use 3 materials, 1 rune, and 3 of your elements instead? It's a bit of a costly trade-off that might not be worth making in all situations, but when it is the right play, it might just be the one that changes the game. Polished Pearl Pauldron is an attach rune with a 1 blue material cost, and it has the following effect. Attach only to a Merfolk element. Increase stamina by 2. If you want more focused protection that lasts as long as it needs to, use this over Siren Song. I remember this card being really good when it was attached to hook hands or scale shield, since it makes trying to get over them because of their effects even harder. Merfolk Ritual is a permanent rune with a 1 blue material cost, and it has the following effect. You can send this card in play to your void to summon a Merfolk element in your reserve to the battlefield, while ignoring its material cost. This card is all about timing. You could either use it immediately to get a free cost hook hands or Seed Scroll Seer out from your reserves, or you could use it during a later turn. Finally, Merfolk Woven Silk is a react rune with a 1 blue material cost and has the following effect. At the end of your opponent's draw phase, if they drew any cards from their material deck, reveal them. Send one of your opponent's materials to their void. This is just an annoying card that might help your Merfolk stay around a bit longer. It's also sometimes useful just to see exactly what your opponent's drawn. The goal of the archetype is to get Jiaolong out on the battlefield as soon as possible. While keeping elements on the battlefield for more than a turn can sometimes be a struggle, the archetype's elements protection effects and runes with stamina buffs help to make that possible. It's a solid archetype when played on its own, but it can also work with other archetypes too. Having lots of slimes on the battlefield can help to overwhelm and distract your opponent when dealing with your Merfolk, and cards like Goblin Ambusher can help further protect your Merfolk elements from being attacked, so that they stay on the battlefield for longer. If you can plan and play well enough with the Merfolk, your opponent can find themselves facing an unbreakable object that can change into an unstoppable force. I hope you enjoyed the second of these 5 videos on archetypes I can remember. Let me know which of the remaining 3 you'd like to see me cover first. If you've got any further questions about the Merfolk archetype, or about the game in general, or if what I've talked about brought back memories from when you played archetype, please let me know, either in the comments or in my Discord. I'm not going to stop until I see those cards again.